Mike works a dead-end job that he hates. He feels undervalued and underpaid for the work he's doing. He dreams of finally becoming financially free, of being able to afford anything he wants without having to take the price tag into consideration, or to take his partner out to dinner and to pay the bill like a gentleman. Every day Mike sees successful entrepreneurs on social media, living an incredible life, but wait, they're only 26 years old, that's not possible. Mike sighs and says, they just got lucky. Silly Mike. By automatically saying that these young entrepreneurs got lucky, Mike doesn't realize that he's conditioning himself to be broke forever. Be honest, is this you? If you know my story, then you'll know that I personally went from being completely broke and depressed just a couple years ago to now running a profitable online business, picking my own schedule and inspiring thousands of people from all over the world. And that's exactly why in this video, I'm going to show you that not only building an online business, a successful business, is not all about luck, but I'm also going to show you how it's possible to build a profitable business from scratch in just a couple of months. If there's one thing that you need to understand, it's that you need to make your own goddamn luck. It's very easy to look at somebody and now they're successful and to think, oh, they just got lucky. Someone helped them. They had the right circumstances. But in reality, what do you know about the life of this person? Maybe they grew up without anything. Maybe they had to go through terrible things. Maybe they were in debt at some point. When you see somebody for the first time, when you hear of someone for the first time, truth is you have no idea what their story is. And most people, they're going to see somebody being successful and think, oh, he just got lucky. That way they rationalize it, they justify why they don't have the things that they want in life. It's easy to see a muscular guy and to say that he must have great genetics. But how would you know? I'll tell you this, the harder you work, the more you start to get results. Plenty of people will be calling you lucky. By doing this, they discredit all the hard work that you put in, and it makes them feel better about their own failures. Now, I'm not going to bullshit you because luck does exist. To give you an example, somebody is going to be born in the US, let's say in New York, while somebody else is going to be born in a small town in Rwanda. So as you can clearly see, one starts off in life with much better circumstances than the other. But that isn't to say that you should let your circumstances limit you. You must not be like those people who justify why they don't have the things that they want out of life, who assume the victim position. It's easy to spot those people. When you're speaking to them, they're always going to be blaming things outside of themselves to rationalize why they failed, why they don't have what they want, instead of taking responsibility for their lives. Understand this, no one is coming to save you. You'll go nowhere unless you take full responsibility for your results and do the boring work. So now that you understand that, the first step is to set a goal for the next 12 months. Yeah, I know you wish this was going to be a sexy video where I'm going to explain how you can make $1 million with no work, completely passive, and in like 3 days. But that's not how it works. Becoming a millionaire is an incredible thing to achieve. There's a reason why most people will never even get to 6 figures, so let alone 7 figures a year. Now I'll tell you one thing, in life you can truly achieve the extraordinary. Think about people who become multi-millionaires while they come from absolute poverty. Think about all the people who manage to run 100 miles. Some people even run more than that. However, there is one downside, otherwise it would be way too good to be true. And if those things were too easy to achieve, if anyone can just become a millionaire or become a super fit athlete, then those things wouldn't be worth as much as they are. Truth is, there is always going to be a top 1%. If that was the norm, if everybody was jacked and rich, then we'd look for the next thing. So what's the downside then? You can achieve pretty much anything you want, but it's going to take more hard work, more patience, more perseverance, more sweat and tears than you initially think. It's not for nothing that we have a saying that goes, most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in 10. Everything I've ever wanted in life, I've always been able to get it. The thing is, it just took longer than I initially thought most of the time. And also oftentimes, the path that I took to accomplish certain goals, it was completely different to what I had initially imagined. The number one reason why most people don't get what they want in life, it's because they quit way too soon. At the slightest obstacle, at the slightest difficulty, they throw their hands in the air and they're done. But life only rewards the winners, the people who are willing to fail 1,000 times and still get back up. At the end of the day, when you want to get something in life, only two things can actually stop you: quitting and death. That's literally it. Now, to give you an example, let's say that we want to make $10,000 a month by the end of those 12 months. Now that you have a goal, a specific goal in mind, now you can reverse engineer and figure out just how many sales, how many customers you would need every month to reach that target. Now, the next step is to sell a recurring service. Here's why it's better to sell a recurring service as opposed to selling physical products, like let's say a lamp, a table. When you sell a service, your profit margins are typically much higher than compared to a product. The reason being, you don't need to manufacture manufacture or to ship the item, so costs are lower. Higher profit margins also means that you can reinvest more money in the business, so scale it faster. Because I think you'll agree with me that the more resources you can allocate to a specific thing, like a business or getting fit, the more money, time and effort you can put into these things, the faster you'll get what you want, and your results will be much better. Somebody who's truly committed to doing whatever the hell it takes to get what they want, it's only a matter of time before they win, before they become successful. Now with services, you also typically provide a lot more value than with products. This means that you can charge a lot more for your work. If you were to sell a lamp, for instance, you might sell it for, let's say, $50, but if you sell a lead generation service, you can price it at $2,000 a month. Now typically with services, you can price anywhere between $1,500 a month all the way up to $10,000. Now it really depends on your offer, on what you're selling, and on who you're selling it to. And then the other advantage is that you will reach your goals faster. I mean, if we stick with the example of selling lamps, let's say you sell lamps for $20 per unit. Now to make $10,000 a month, that's your goal, remember, you would need to sell 500 lamps every month. Trust me, it's a lot harder than it looks. You can make a lot of money in e-commerce. It's a very profitable industry. I mean, just look at AliExpress or at Amazon. They're booming businesses in constant expansion, and it's for a reason. However, profit margins are small, and the competition is absolutely ruthless. But instead, if you were to sell a service for $2,000 a month, and that's like the lower end of the price range, with only 5 customers, you would already be making $10,000 a month. And if it's a monthly recurring service, let's say lead generation or video editing for entrepreneurs, you can charge that every month because they'll still need your services. Because if you help somebody lose weight, for instance, once they have lost the weight, they don't need to be a customer anymore. But businesses always want to get more leads, and that is why the B2B industry is a great industry to tap into. So this means that if you sign a customer, let's say for a minimum term of 3 months, for the next 3 months, you're pretty much guaranteed to make that 2K per month. So multiply that by 5, and you are guaranteed for at least 3 months to make 10K a month. It makes your income predictable, and that is one of the big advantages of selling monthly recurring services. Because in business, you will typically see highs and lows, ups and downs. During some months, sales volumes will be higher, and during others, they will be lower. But when you sign customers on a minimum term of, let's say, 3 months, it makes your income more predictable. So it allows you to plan ahead and to be able to make certain type of expenses that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Now, the next step is to do market research. This step is very important. In fact, it's crucial. Yet plenty of people just skip it. You know when they say that 9 out of 10 businesses fail? In reality, it's more like 9 out of 10 people fail. Because who runs businesses? People, individuals. As you announce to people that you want to start your own business, they might throw this statistic in your face to discourage you somehow from starting your own business. But what they don't get, it's that it's not a lottery per se. You don't just roll the dice and you get lucky or you don't. I can guarantee that the 9 out of 10 businesses that failed, it's because they did all of the wrong things. They were not intentional about their actions. In business and in life, in any aspect of life, literally, business, fitness, relationships, anything, a hobby, if you are intentional about what you do, you minimize the amount of mistakes you're going to make, and naturally, you'll get a better outcome. Now, market research is when you need to ask yourself, what are people willing to pay for, and how much are they willing to spend on that thing? Now, you don't want to be the first to sell something, because honestly, you think that you're the first to have this idea, to want to sell this thing. Most of the time, it's not the case. Someone else has already tried to sell that thing before you, but they didn't end up making any sales. So that's why now you don't see them on the scene anymore. And honestly, unlike most people think, nowadays to get rich, you don't need to have a revolutionary idea. If you want to make $1 million a year, truth is you don't need to invent the next TikTok, the next Facebook. Now, if you wanted to make $1 billion, that would be a different story. But why would you be so preoccupied with making $1 billion when you haven't even reached $10,000 a month yet? Business is a game with levels. If you try to skip ahead because you think that you'll go faster somehow, you're only shooting yourself in the foot. You'll make plenty of mistakes along the way, which will in turn slow you down. And that is why if you want to go fast, you need to go slow. Now, the best way to figure out if people are interested in your offer is to simply see if there are competitors selling the same kind of thing in your space. For instance, if you have somebody in mind, in let's say the e-commerce industry for fitness brands, they sell a lead generation service through TikTok content, let's say. You see them running ads, posting a lot of content on social media, managing many brands accounts, then this must mean that there is a lot of demand for that specific service. Social media can also help you to spot trends as they arise. I mean, to give you an example, not too long ago the trend was artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. Now you need to understand that most millionaires are not geniuses. They just found something that works and they worked at it for a long time, and that is exactly why they are where they are today. I'll tell you this, there are plenty of people who are way less smart than you are, yet they make a lot more money, simply because they took more action or because they work in an opportunity that allows them to make more money. At the end of the day, you can be a genius, but if you work at McDonald's, you could be working for 12 hours a day, really hard work, but you're not going to make $1 million, simply because the vehicle that that you're using to make money, it is flawed. It will never allow you to reach your goals. Now, the other thing that you want to focus on is that you want to only serve one single niche. It's a newbie mistake I see plenty of new entrepreneurs make. They target everyone at the same time. They don't want to pick a specific niche, like let's say chiropractors, real estate agents, e-commerce brands in the fitness niche, because they think that if they do that, if they narrow their focus on one single niche, they close down other doors and will get less customers. But I'll tell you this, every time I've been on a one-on-one call with a business owner, the ones who were broke, the ones who didn't make any money, it was always the ones focusing on multiple niches at the same time. Every single time, trust me. And the reason why this doesn't work is because you're not going to speak to realtors the same way that you're going to speak to busy moms trying to lose post-pregnancy weight. Now, obviously, there's a big gap between realtors and busy moms wanting to lose post-pregnancy weight, but if you speak to realtors and chiropractors, let's say, they are two different types of industries. They don't have the same vocabulary, they don't have the same goals, they don't have the same starting point. If you're worried about losing out on potential customers and on potential sales, you need to understand how scaling works. First, you pick a niche, you narrow down. When you do this, you become really good at speaking to one niche. Your marketing becomes really refined, and now you're attracting all the customers or most of the customers in that niche. Then once you start to max out because of the size of your market, you expand into other adjacent markets. And that is how scaling works. Now, one of the most valuable lessons I learned in my business career is that volume beats luck every time. Let's say that you open up a tea shop. It's your dream, you've always wanted to have your own tea shop. Would you rather open the tea shop in the middle of the desert or in the hottest area in Manhattan? I think that the answer is pretty obvious. You could be selling the best product, the best service in the world, top tier quality, but if nobody knows that it even exists, you're not going to make a single sale. Attention is the name of the game nowadays, because I can guarantee that right now, there is a competitor making a lot more money than you are, and it's not because their products or services are better, it's because they get more attention than you do, more visibility than you do. That is why you need to make it your duty to reach out to as many people as humanly possible. The more people who know about your business, the higher your chances of signing up more customers. At the end of the day, when people say it's a numbers game, they're pretty right. Now, there's this one aspect of business that way too many people just don't focus on. You need to become a master at understanding people. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you'll become rich. Business is all about people. The better you become at understanding human psychology, the way that people work, why they want the things that they want, why they are repulsed by certain things and attracted to others, the better you'll become at sales, and the more money you'll make, the more successful you will be. If you really want to understand human psychology in depth, I really invite you to read books like The Art of Seduction, Influence and Persuasion, and How to Influence and Influence People. There are many books on the topic, but those are the best in my opinion. Because believe it or not, but business and sales has a lot in common with dating and with the seduction world. Now, to close people, you have a few different options. You can either use a VSL, which means video sales letter, or a phone call. There are advantages and downsides to both. Don't think that there is one perfect method. Now, the advantage of a VSL is that it works on autopilot, so you can handle a lot more volume. Now, the downside is that you're not going to be able to charge prices which are as high, because people need to feel that human connection to be able to do that. And that is why sales calls are great. So not only can you charge higher prices with sales calls, but they will give you something which is priceless. They will help you to thoroughly understand your prospects, your market, which, as you may have guessed already, will help you to improve your marketing, and of course, lead to more leads and to more sales, more customers. Because the issue is that if you don't have a deep understanding of what goes on within your market, if you just try to have a VSL from the start, because you don't have that direct feedback, unlike you would if you were on the phone with your prospects because you're speaking to them directly, you won't know what you need to change. You won't know what they didn't resonate with. At Consulting Fastlane, we help our members with everything, all the way from finding the niche to literally scaling the business. And if you really want to start your own online business but you have no clue where to start, I have recorded a free video in which I'm going to analyze every popular online business model. Together, we'll be taking a look at the pros and at the cons of every model, and I'm also going to be sharing with you for completely free the 3-step process that you can use to start your business today and to get your first customers as quickly as possible. If you're interested, there's the link in the description below. Now, once you have your niche, your offer, you know how to close people, you need service delivery. It's the whole process of getting your customer the end result you have promised. Now, I see a lot of people worrying about service delivery, spending all of their time thinking about it when they haven't even gotten their first customer yet. You need to understand that business is a game that works in sequential order. Too many people try to skip ahead, to skip all the steps because they think that if they do that, they'll become more successful and faster. But like I said, they're only shooting themselves in the foot. Now, you have two ways to deliver your services for your customers. You can either deliver the service yourself because you have the skills, the experience, and the knowledge on how to do that. Let's say that you're a fitness enthusiast. You can help busy moms to lose post-pregnancy weight, or you can help men, busy executives, to get in shape, to build more muscle because you know how to do that. Now let's say you chose to do lead generation, but you have no clue how to do Facebook ads or how to use social media to get leads organically. You can either learn it, or even better, leverage the time, the skills, and the knowledge of an experienced contractor in that industry. And that's great because all the time that you don't need to put working for your customer, delivering the service, you could put it into client acquisition instead and scaling your business. So I hope you're not going to rely on luck to making your dreams come true. Again, if you want to figure out how to start your own online business, the link to the free video is in the description below.